Welcome, everyone. Again, who's been to one of our lectures here before? There's a few of you. Yeah, I thought I recognized a few of you guys. This is the annual Clark Library Lecture for New Jersey Paranormal. Most of the team is here tonight. I'm John, Chris, Danielle, Colleen, Tanya Kenny couldn't make it tonight. We're going to do sort of a mixed bag tonight. We're going to talk about, well, I'll show you the beginning of the lecture in a minute. We do have haunted objects there on that table. There's a death mask and a voodoo doll up there. They are both dark items. So if you're going to come up there and touch them or go near them, whatever method that you use for protection, as far as to protect yourself from attachment or spirit, I don't necessarily believe in any of that. But if you do and you want to go up there, just make sure you kind of protect yourself mentally. You can't follow me. You can't attach to me. Yes.
I got magic rocks on the table too, as you call them. I have protection crystals around, which he doesn't believe in. He calls them magic rocks. I don't
believe in magic rocks either.
So, I believe in positive is positive, negative is negative. So if you're positive about something, you're fine.
Okay. So at the end, if you want to come up and take a look at them and take pictures of them and read the cards and everything and grab some sugar, because she's got a ton of candy there. Hey, doctor, you see? Sugar. That's our doctor, by the way, Dr. Garcia. Great doctor here in Clark. Anyway, so we've been doing this a very long time. We've been doing this well over 20 years. The way this whole thing got started was I believed in spirits or ghosts. I don't come from a religious background, so my belief in spirits and ghosts doesn't come from the Bible. I know nothing about the Bible. I know a few of the names in the Bible. My mom, she passed away 4 years ago. All of my siblings went to Catholic school but me. So I always look for that birthmark behind my ear that maybe my mom saw. And but my mother would get so mad at me. I'd go to church and I can't even finish the Our Father. I get to forgive us our, and then that's about it. And then I mouth the rest of it and I amen when I know I'm supposed to amen. She'd always give me a whack. But death, I've always been afraid of death. Since I was that big, I've been afraid of death. And not being a religious person, it's still at 55, going to be 56, scares the crap out of me, which is why I'm lucky I have a great doctor, because I'll be around a long time. But I am afraid of death. Even doing this, I've been doing this for 20 years. People ask all kinds of questions, and we're going to get to that at the end. What happens when you die? What happens after we die? Where do we go? How can spirits communicate? Why can spirits, some throw things across the room and others it's a flowery smell? They ask all these different questions. And in 20 years of doing this, my answer is the same as it was 20 years ago. I don't know. I don't know until we get there and we transition and get the handbook for the recently deceased, like Beetlejuice. There really is no way of knowing. I've met tons of mediums through the years. And if I was a medium, and none of us are mediums, I would lock myself in a room and drive myself crazy trying to communicate with spirit to find out everything I could. And I don't know why they don't do that. I'm a skeptic at heart. Believe me, I have to see it, experience it to believe it. I just don't take anybody's word for it. I've met real mediums and I've met dime a dozen mediums that'll just, everything's too easy with Google and Ancestry. So I'm a skeptic. I have to see it to believe it. But everything that I have gotten from the paranormal is based on people I've met, things I've experienced, things I've done. There is an afterlife. What that is, I don't know if my version matches your version. I believe, I'm a big Star Wars geek. I believe more in, it's more of an energy galaxy type of thing. I believe when we go, we plug into this big energy galaxy thing and it all makes sense to us. Everything is revealed to us how it works at the end. Anybody ever watch Ghost Hunters? Remember that show? I know younger people don't really watch the old TV shows, but Grant Wilson, Ghost Hunters, he gave me the best version of the afterlife. He said, he believes when you pass away, people that have died and come back say you go through a judgment, that we're all judged. Now, the saving grace for that, the only thing I do believe of religion, purgatory. That's the only part my mother instilled in me, that I have a shot, that I'm not either going to go here or there.
That's what you took away from all of that.
There is a middle. And I can spend a lot of time in that middle, but eventually I'll get to where everybody goes. But Grant Wilson said, we all go through a life review, and that you have to face everything you've done in your life, whether the little things along with the big things, the things you regret. You've got to come to terms with all of that to ascend to where you go to your version of heaven, whatever that is. Whatever you believe heaven to be, that's where you'll be. And you're going to be there for a while to get used to being gone and being a spirit. And eventually the real heaven, like the Matrix, will be revealed to you. Made a little sense to me, but again, you don't know till you get there. So that's basically my story. I'm going to let these guys come up and tell how they got started. I believed in the paranormal, never had a paranormal experience, so I went to Gettysburg. We went there for the history. We went into one of these shops where they have pictures of orbs, and believe me, I'm going to tell you this, and I mean it, bugs and dust. That's what most orbs are. You know how many ring cam photos or videos I get of a piece of water going over the camera, and there's a street light behind it, and they're like, oh my God. It's like, no. Or somebody sitting on their bed with their feet and the cat runs by, and then all this dust starts flying, and oh my God, I have 20 spirits in my house. No, you don't. But I always ask the same question. Is there anything else going on there that would make you believe? Because if there's more going on, then yeah. But in all the years that we've done this, we do help people in their homes as well. Not everything is paranormal. You always look for the normal. Could be heating, air conditioning, making that banging noise. It could be so many different things that are causing the things that you believe are paranormal. I'll tell you really quick. So anyway, we go to Gettysburg, her and I, we go into the shop. There's all these pictures of orbs. We're like, is it really haunted? Are there really ghosts in Gettysburg? And the guy goes, you kidding me? He said, go get yourself a recorder and go on the battlefield at night. And you'll either see things or you'll hear things. We go pitch black, dead of night. We're out there wandering. She goes one way, I go another. I take the recorder. I just ask like 5 questions. We get back to the hotel. I listen. I got a man saying, I said, did you die here? One of the questions. Yeah. As clear as I'm talking. Were you a man? Yeah. Were you involved in the Civil War? Yes. I mean, as if they talked into the microphone. I was hooked from that moment on, like this might be real. So one of the very first troubling, horrifying experiences that I've had doing this was we were in a building in between 2 funeral parlors. And it's not far from here, to be honest with you. And the young couple were experiencing things. We just started. We thought we'll put on black shirts with logos on them and we could do what everybody else does. We go into this house in the basement. The woman's like, I get up in the morning, like the movies, all the cabinet doors are open. And when she goes in the basement, the door slams on her and she almost gets pushed down. She was afraid. So we go in there. I go into the basement. There's a wooden cross wedged into the wall. The owner doesn't know why it was there when they bought it, but they left it. And believe me, they should have left it. I go down there. I got my recorder. I said, is anybody here with me? And I hear a voice that sounded like Lurch. It was like really gravelly. It said, I'm here. And I went, holy, you know what? And I'm like, so then I heard something moving near me. And I looked down, and at the time I didn't have a whole lot of equipment. I had a duffel bag and it was moving. And this was my first time ever seeing any. I didn't know it was real. Like I said, I doubted that type of thing was real. I got out of there. We contacted 2 other teams in Jersey that have been doing it a long time. They came there, saged, blessing, Band-Aid, Band-Aid, Band-Aid. They had to move. Whatever was there was not going anywhere. So that was really the beginning. And then through the years, we know so many people. Colleen is a practicing witch. We know priests. We know rabbis. We know different people, demonologists. We know people that can deal with pretty much anything anywhere. And I'm going to let them tell their story real quick because there's a lot of video to show, and then we'll do a Q&A at the end. So Chris, you can step up.
So
give your background story.
Yeah. So you heard John. John talks about everything is based on he didn't believe in it and that he's afraid of dying. For me, John hates when I say this, but this is the God's honest truth. I'm a faith-based person. I don't do religion, and there's a reason for that. But I am a very faithful person. I believe in positive. I believe in good. And I also believe that there's more when we pass away, because for me, the whole idea that energy doesn't get destroyed, that energy, no matter what, we transfer back into energy. I'm a firm believer. When you love someone and you're so connected, when that person is gone, we've all had losses at this point, most of us in our life at this age. I lost a daughter. And for me, I lost a mother right before then. And for me, that love doesn't die. That connection cannot possibly go away. So for me, I believe when we pass away, we're reunited with those people that we love. Maybe not in the way that we see in the movies, but I do believe that we're connected and that stays together. That love is so strong and powerful, it overcomes everything. So I believe we'll be connected again. And that is my belief, and that's how I feel. And John kind of tricked me into this. I didn't want any part of this, the paranormal. And that's because I come from a really dark, horrible childhood where things were happening that I couldn't understand. I grew up in a family of 6. Nobody would share a room with me. My mother was terrified to come into my room at night. I was having nightmares all the time. Things were happening. I didn't understand it. I grew up Roman Catholic. You didn't talk about these things. I'm in my late 50s. It was taboo. So my parents, thank God, knew something wasn't right, so they took me to our church. And there I'm sitting between my 2 parents, and the priest said, "It's you. You're a bad egg. Whatever's happening is your fault. You're bringing it on yourself," which I couldn't understand because it's been my whole life. How is that possible? How can a baby or a child bring stuff like that in, right? So then he took me to a psychic medium, unheard of. She literally started flipping over cards in her house, and I'll never forget it. I was 17. And you got to be mindful, at this point, I'm suicidal because I think something's wrong with me. I went to my parents and said, "You have to put me into a home or something. I need professional help. I wasn't living. I wasn't social. I was cut off from everyone. My sisters wanted nothing to do. They were afraid. They were terrified. So there's trauma. So they send me to the psychic. She flips over the cards. The first thing she does, and excuse the language, but this is exactly what she said. She jumped up, "Get the out of my house and don't you ever come back." Traumatized by the hauntings, traumatized by the church, traumatized by psychic medium. Where do you turn? I moved out at 17 into my own apartment so that my family didn't have to deal with it anymore. And it wasn't till I hit 18, there was a knock on my door. I can't explain it. I don't understand it. It's a gift. There is this priest. I don't know where he came from. I don't know what denomination or anything. He said, "I was sent to you to help you. You have what we call an open soul. You have to decide what your faith is and what you believe and what you don't. You are the all-powerful that can stop bad and bring in good. It's our choice in life. And this is what you can use for the rest of your life. It's what you decide. So you can believe in a cross and give it power. You can believe in holy water and give it power. You can believe in crystals and give it power. But the essence of everything comes from us and what we believe in. It's us that is the vessel of everything we believe. Now, did I buy into that? No. I was young. I was still afraid. I was dealing. I'd wake up with marks on my hand, choking, couldn't breathe. Like doors would go flying open. That's how bad it was. So I lived alone for a while until I came to the realization and started practicing what he said. It was almost like a light came on. I have the power to stop all of it. I have the ability to say, no, this isn't welcome. I don't want this. And I get to decide what I believe in. And then I started practicing faith. Faith in what I believed in. Faith in being good to other people. Goodness brings goodness. Negative brings negative. And as long as I was negative in life, I was going to attract negative. I have been kidnapped. I have been brutalized. I have gone through molestation from family members. I've been robbed. I can go on and on with the different traumas that were happening while I was in that negative state. But once I stopped it and decided no more, positive things started happening. I met the man, the love of my life. I had 2 beautiful daughters.
You could have stopped
that are
there.
Gifts. And I've met wonderful people in my life. And I'm going to say, just like what John does, I'm standing here today and breathing because of an amazing doctor who has sent me to the right people to keep me up and going. And that's the truth. And I love her dearly. She's family. So this is what I'm telling you. He tricked me into doing this.
My side of There's no trick.
He said he needed to be filmed somewhere. And while I was filming him in the dark, things started happening and I wanted to leave and be done. But he did say, what you come from, when people are really, when we sit and we interview people, I know when someone's really being haunted by something they can't see and can't control, and that's terrifying, there's trauma. There's something that's behind them. Whether it's real or imagined, they need someone to listen and hear them. Who better to sit down and talk to them and pull them in and get them to understand, I can help you. I can make you feel better. I can help you get through these stages. You don't have to be stuck in this. So that's my thing that I bring to the team. I help people get through the trauma of a haunting. So I'm gonna let Colleen step in.
So all I got out of that was you met me and things got better.
I knew you'd go there.
Got it.
My name is Colleen. I'm a practicing witch. Chris and John know me for quite a while. I've been practicing for over 30 years, so I do bring that to the table, a slightly different spiritual look on things, and I do believe in the magic rocks.
I know you do.
I have many of them. And sometimes they're so magical they bounce off of people's heads. I bring more of a spiritual side to it, less machines, more internal look, and try to see what you're kind of blind to on your own. What they did thousands upon thousands of years ago, instead of electricity and EMF and needing batteries, I kind of make you look into yourself and things start coming through. I just am kind of like the little oddball out of the bunch. I do work in a metaphysical shop on weekends. I have spent many a day cleansing people, going to their homes. I hear people all the time saying, well, I need white sage to get a bad spirit out of the house. Newsflash, white sage will not cleanse a bad spirit out of your house.
Well, I'm living in one.
White sage, if it's an actual spirit, white sage will only put it to sleep, and it's going to wake up twice as angry. If you need to get rid of a bad spirit, you need to go put all guns ahead. This is why at church they do frankincense and myrrh. You can use that. You can use sweetgrass. You can use cedar. You can use dragon's blood. White sage will not get rid of a bad spirit. It will get rid of bad energy. So try to remember 2 different things. There you go. Yes, sir.
All right, mine's quicker. I grew up with the paranormal, so I'm a bit younger than them, so my mother was into it. My child, little daughter that she is, she's brought up in it as well. We met them about 8 or 9 years ago. I'm a private educator background, and I love this group because they teach people. We've gone through other groups where they kind of let you wander. Here, no, you've seen this on TV, try it, learn. So we're in it for the education background. My daughter and I are history buffs, and they're now my daughter's paranormal parents. So, we love the education and the new learning opportunities that they bring us, so we just enjoy it. Thank you.
So, real quick, before we get to the clips and everything, I just wanted everyone to come up because more in the private sector, when you're helping people in their homes, you have to have people with different beliefs, different backgrounds, who understand things and look at things a little different, so we can all discuss what the best way forward is to help people. Because like I said, believe it or not, 85% of private cases are not paranormal at all. There are mental issues, there are medical issues, there are issues again, within the house or the home itself. I'll tell you one really quick story. There was a gentleman, his girlfriend called us, said he's seeing a lot of spirits in his house. They're everywhere. It's a townhouse. So we drive out there with a medium friend of ours, Connie, who we trust. We walk into the house. He seemed perfectly normal. He was a really nice gentleman. We're walking through. He's explaining where he sees all these spirits on the back patio, in his bedroom, everywhere. And he's walking us through. He thinks he has a portal in the bedroom. He has a portal there. And Connie, our medium, was just doing her diligence, walking through, seeing if she could pick up on energies. I started talking to him privately, and he said, you know, so much going on. He mentioned the fact that his brother murdered his father. And I went, what do you mean? And he said, well, they went on a cruise together. My father was fine before he went on that cruise, and he came back and he passed away a week later. I think my brother is up to something and did something. And I said, okay. Again, red flag number one. Then he says to me, and then I almost got my license taken away because I'm seeing animals are appearing in the road in front of me, and I swerved to avoid one, and I almost hit a child. Now they don't want me to drive anymore. I said, you see animals? He said, yeah, they just appear out of nowhere. And I said, okay. He goes, in my house. No, I'm not making this up. He said, there was a bear in my kitchen, and there was a lion in my bedroom for a week. I wouldn't go in my bedroom. And right there, you hear that, and you think, okay, he's expressing his reality. He's not lying to me. Whatever condition he's dealing with is real to him. That's his reality. So how do you treat that? How do you help that? We did our diligence. We investigated the house. The medium went and cleansed every area that he thought there was issues, and then spoke to his girlfriend and said, you need to, has he been to doctors? Has he seen anybody for anything? And he had in the past. And I had said to him gently, I said, when was the last time you were at a doctor? And what do you mean? I said, I see my doctor every 6 months just for blood. And he was about my age, maybe a little older. I said, when was the last? He said, well, it's been a while. I said, well, maybe next time you see your doctor to get checked out, mention the things you're seeing. Hoping that the doctor will then try to guide him somewhere else. And it turns out he was having issues before this, but they weren't treated anymore. So we were there, we did our diligence. He called me a week later just from us being there and the medium doing what she did. He said he wasn't seeing anything anymore. Sometimes a placebo solution for a placebo problem. That's the reality. Sometimes you just got to give them the confidence, the belief in that they're safe. It's their environment. There's nothing there, nothing to be worried about. When the real stuff is there, you know it and you deal with it. And there are lots of ways to do that. So that's why we come from so many different backgrounds. Kenny, who's not here, he knows all about buildings and wiring and everything else. So we could check everything. So I just wanted to mention that. I'm going to go.
Tanya's a psych nurse.
And Tanya's a psych nurse.
Yeah,
so
that's important.
I'm going to go through the equipment really fast and talk about paranormal theory because we always run out of time and we got a lot of video to get to. All the stuff that I'm going to show you here, not one thing here is a ghost detector. There is no such thing as a ghost detector. Everything here measures changes in the environment, and we use as communication options. I never look at anything here as a ghost detector. I look at it as a way to interact with someone I can't see and hear. I want to give them every option. That's why you see this table, and there's way more stuff than this. I want to give them every option to communicate. I tell this story at all of the events we do. I come from a family full of deaf people. My mom, I don't remember my mom hearing, ever. My mom was deaf, but she could read lips. Just like I'm talking, she'd catch every word. And I tell this joke all the time. If I wanted to cuss at my mother or disagree with her, I did it like this. Or her little Italian hands would come in, or she'd hit me with a spoon. So my cousin is also deaf, and she's younger than I am. So we're at a wedding, excuse me, and doctor, you want to, my throat, maybe. So we're at a wedding. She's sitting next to me. She knows sign language. I don't. Right? I never had to learn it with my mom. So she's trying to talk to me, and I'm nodding, and I'm nodding, and I'm nodding, and I'm getting frustrated, and she's getting frustrated. It's a one-way conversation. Takes out her phone, talk to text. Now we're having a full conversation and catching up like we weren't able to. Without technology, our communication, that. Same with the spirit world. Why would we limit ourselves to mediums, seances, Ouija boards, pendulums, dowsing rods, which I believe in none of those things, to be honest with you. I told you I'm a skeptic. But I do believe in things that react to motion, energy, temperature. We're measuring changes in the environment plus giving them options. This thing here, demon detector. No, I'm kidding. Everybody run. This thing here detects static electricity. That's it. And people believe, paranormal theory, that when the spirit is going to manifest, they're going to create a static discharge. This will tell me where it originated from and tell me where it's moving to. You can see the rainbow. I could do that as a physical living human being. Maybe a spirit could do that as well. If I put it somewhere, I tell them how to use everything. You don't assume that a spirit from the 1800s knows what a static dome is. So I demonstrate it and I say, you could do that too. If you were to just come over and move your hands around it, could you show me you're here just by touching that and lighting up a color? Maybe it'll happen. Now, would I tell you your house was haunted based on my dome? No, we're going to use many, many different things. It's an option. It's doing two things, measuring static electricity, and we're using it as a communication method. This lantern detects electromagnetic fields, energy. Everybody believes, science-based, that when we die, the battery's gone. We're electro-biochemical beings. So people believe, oh, here we go, demon, run, everybody. When we pass, people believe that we transition to energy-based beings with our consciousness. They believe that's the soul. This measures EMF. I don't even know if it's going to do it here because there's no EMF here. But if any EMF were around me, this is the normal color. It would change to blue, to red. The higher the EMF, the more colors I'm going to see. Now, is there man-made EMF? Yeah, it's all around us. But this is regular. This is normal grounding where I'm standing. No EMF. Purple. If I ask, what's your name? Barbara. The spirit of Barbara to come near me and try to touch the lantern or touch my hand, and this starts changing colors, guess what? Energy now has approached me. I didn't approach it. It came to me, and it's changing. Now I ask Barbara, the spirit, to back off. She's getting a little aggressive. So if it goes away, I'm going to test the intelligence. Barbara, could you come and touch my hand again to prove that that's you? And if I have the EMF again, guess what? I may have something there, energy where there wasn't any. That's what we're measuring. Again, communication device. Old-fashioned bell looks like one. It does work like one, but there's also a sensor on the front here to where if EMF, energy, were to approach a sensor here, it's going to ding that bell too. Spirits from the 1800s, earlier, they're going to know a bell better than anything. Options. This is one of my favorites this time of the year. So this is a motion sensor. That's a PIR sensor. So if I put that in an area, eventually it's going to reset itself. And if I point it that way, it works no different than this does, which is just as creepy. Nothing like plays a happy sound. So there's a sensor on the front of that to where if I trip it, only something blocking that sensor or moving in front of it is going to make that go off. So picture yourself in a creepy mansion by yourself. You're at the end of the hallway using the bathroom, and that happens. So this is, again, another thing we demonstrate. It's a music box, very familiar to older spirits. Oh, God. This is a REM pod. So basically, this emits energy around that antenna. It's a proximity sensor. Anything comes near it, it's going to sound. The lights are going to go, and we're going to hear music. Again, communication device. I put this down on the floor. I demonstrate it. Let's see if Barbara Spirit comes by again, and we'll touch that and interact with me. I'm giving them every option I can. Joe Rogan, do you know who Joe Rogan is? He's a podcaster. He's been on forever. He was interviewing an MIT scientist, and they were talking about spirits and the afterlife and all that. And this guy said it best. He said, maybe as living human beings, we're not meant to understand. We haven't transitioned. We don't know what it is. Maybe it's like giving an ant a cell phone and saying, make a call. Never happened. Can't. Maybe we can't either. They can, but we have the problem bridging that gap unless you're a medium. Candle, I can't demonstrate it because I have no EMF, but EMF, if at either side there's two sensors, it's going to make the candle go on and off. Again, spirits know what it is. And we explain, we show them. It won't burn you. It won't hurt you. It's not real. So we'll use something like that. Even something as simple as a car. This again, younger children, child spirits. So this has a sensor in the back that if you try to touch it, it moves. It's like kicking the hat, like those movies where they keep trying to pick the hat up and it moves. So if anybody tries to grab that and play with it, the car is going to move. We use something as simple as a cat ball. That's what this is. I love Ghost Adventures. It's my favorite show. He refers to it as like pulsating something or other. I don't know what Zach calls it, but it's a cat ball. So this eventually will turn off. And if you were to tap it with your finger, it's going to turn back on. Very simple, very light touch. Again, if that's all they can do, then give them the option to do it. Don't make it so difficult to where, levitate me, you know, throw that table across the room. Give them every option you can to interact and communicate. Nothing, I don't want to use that yet. Okay. Nothing in the world is better than this. Everybody says, if I was to buy one piece of equipment, what would I buy? Digital recorder. Why? Nothing is better than getting a voice in an area where you know nobody's at. And I'm in this room and I said, is the spirit of Bob Smith here? And he says, yes, I am. Nothing better. Because you know there's nobody else there with you and it comes through. Of course, when you do, you know, an event with tons of people, you got to take into consideration it could be the guy across the street or the guy upstairs, but nothing better than a recorder. Those little touch balls that we mentioned, we put them inside eggs with the word yes and no on them. Really simple. Touch one, touch the other to try to interact and answer the way you want to. Pretty simple. Did I get through everything? A spirit box. You guys know what a spirit box is? You've seen them on the shows. Basically a broken radio. Scans the AM, FM frequency at a rapid pace or a slow pace. Theory is spirits could use the white noise or the frequencies, the radio frequencies, to cast their voice and talk. It works sometimes, not all the times. The thing you got to watch out for in the paranormal is people shoehorn in everything. Ovilus is a box I don't have on me, but it's a word generator. And the theory is spirits can pick the word. So you'll be using that thing in here, and it'll go, shoe. Oh, I have shoes. My God, there's a spirit here? Yeah, shoes. I have shoes. So people try to shoehorn and fit everything in. You're looking for relevancy for whatever you're doing. Thermal imager. This, again, we're tracking temperature. I appear orange and red. Everything else should appear blue, yellowish. So again, you hear a noise in the corner. Like I'm looking over there where she is. I see her as orange and red. So again, you could see something you can't see with your own eyes. This one is fairly new. This is all, again, motion activated. This is where you ooh and ah. Ooh. Ah. But again, just options for them. And these right here, I'll hold them up. These are tripwires. So we put these in an area. There's longer ones. You can put them down a hallway or something, or you put them around the person if you want. Same thing as the lantern, purple. Anything approaches them, they change color if there's energy. So you put them in a circle, you put them on the wall, you can watch to see if there's energy tracking down the hallway.
And if they turn red, run like I do.
Well, we have videos of her running, so you're going to see that in a minute. All right, so we're going to start the presentation. We're going to go into, well, this whole presentation is about spirit interaction and communication. Yeah, you can't put both of it. No, he can't have it dark.
During the videos, actually, we can have it.
Oh, we can? Okay. You trust her to play this? Does she don't want to stop
She
it?
got it. She's got it. She did it before.
All right.
I got the sound.
If they mess it up, it's their fault. All right, pause it. So between that music and that video and those haunted objects, how many of you think are possessed now? Just the front row? So orbs. I was just talking about orbs and anomalies. There are real anomalies. We've seen a few of them on video from here to there. We're in a church. I won't say where because I can't. It's South Jersey. Their basement supposedly has a negative energy that is in this room they use for storage. And a medium told us, come check it out. We set up a camera down the hallway. This is a real anomaly. Dead of winter. It's not a what I would call a lightning bug. People call them firefly. This is a real ball of light that's moving. Watch this thing come out of the room and down the hallway. It's really, really quick.
Oh, yeah? The neighbor?
Yeah, he told us some story.
I said to play again, just let it play. It literally pulsates as it comes out of the room. One more time.
Oh, yeah? The neighbor? Yeah, he told us some story.
I pause that. Now, the reason would you pause it? The reason I show that is because I can't show you all the video. That ball of light I caught on that camera, and then I caught it in the stairwell, and then it goes up to the top floor where the altar is, and you hear the creepiest somebody breathing like Darth Vader, and the camera moves a little bit.
Tell them the room it came out of.
Huh?
The room that it came out of.
I told them.
That it was the haunted like collector stuff. That was crazy.
No, it was the donations.
Yeah, I didn't like that room.
Okay. Anyway. Here's another undisclosed location. This one's kind of cool. A building we can't mention again. I want you to keep an eye. You could turn the light off. I'm going to stand on this side for this one. Hopefully I don't block anybody. But yeah, hit play. There's a curtain. The window has a curtain that's closing it. The last tenant committed suicide in this building. The last person lived there. Right there where you're looking, there's a curtain. You'll see something move where the arrow is, start to move a little, and then pull the curtain. And there's nothing there. And then the proximity sensor goes off right afterwards. It's going to show again. You have to touch that dog to make it beep like that. So there's nobody standing there. So just keep letting it play. It'll show again. I slowed it down a little bit. So you'll see somebody kind of move a little bit right there in that corner. You'll see it move a little and then pull back. See right there. There they are. And then they pull it back. And then they touch the dog. Yeah, pause it right there. You can turn the light on for this one for 1 second. Berkeley College, Woodland Park. We get called there because they're seeing shadow figures. They've heard things in this one side room. SLS, we don't have that with us. Do you know what that is? You've ever heard of that? Those of you who don't know what the SLS is, a structure light sensor. You ever see the stick figure camera on the paranormal shows? They look around, they see stick figures. This thing was designed for a video game. You would put this camera on your TV, you would stand in front of it, and it would map me as a stick figure. Because I would be in the video game. It would mimic my movement. So I stand in front of the camera, and if I do this, it also does that in a video game. But initially, when it's mapping you as a person, it shows you as a stick figure. So this is what happens in this clip. You're going to see the cat ball going off in the hallway. Go ahead, you can play that.
Oh, this one just went off right by us. Hello? Thank you. Are you a little bit more comfortable? Yes? It just went off again, John. So if this is you, can you step away for a minute and just stop?
Oh,
Do you got a figure?
someone literally right here in front of me. So remember, somebody's touching that.
Oh, this one just went off right by us. Hello? Thank you. Are you a little bit more comfortable? Yes? It just went off again, John. So if this is you, can you step away for a minute and just stop?
And then no.
Do you got a figure?
Someone literally right here in front of me. So not only do we see it twinkling, we're using the camera I'm talking about, and this fella shows up. Now watch where he is, or she is. Right there. Right there.
He's on the wall.
Literally right in front of us.
Oh, he's like sitting.
So the wall's there, the cat ball is right there, that little cat ball.
Yeah, just reach down and touch them to let them know that we're there, please.
No, it's stuck. Look at that. Look at this. Watch the hand. Watch the hand. See the hand?
It's touching the cat ball. Good job.
Wow, look at that.
Who is this?
Pause that. That is like one of the coolest things ever. To actually see the person who's touching it, the spirit, you really never get something reacting and then get to map it as well. Liberty Hall. You know where Liberty Hall is? Union? We've been there many, many times. We do a lot of paranormal events there. This is spirit interaction. Not in a, well, it's not in a bad way, but it's not in a good way either. So Colleen is doing an EVP session. She's standing in the doorway. Tanya's kind of sitting on the ground, and this is what happens. This is the servants' quarters, by the way. Beautiful building.
Are you trying to scare Tanya out of here? Who does she remind you of? Oh my God! I gotta get out of here.
What's going on?
Oh shit, she's right. She smacked her head and she took off and something was right here. It like it shot off of her and was right here. See, she's here and there was nothing, and then she smacked it like off like this, and then all of a sudden it was like right here. Not touching the ground, right here.
So of course we make Tanya go back there again. And she's sitting right there, and now something's on her shoulder or behind her.
Who are you? You're obviously following me. Do I look like somebody you know? I look like somebody you know, huh? Okay, I wonder who I look like.
You see it's red and green, like there's two there. Ain't that weird?
Under the bed. So if I look
Look at
like
that.
somebody you know, can you light something up again to let me
Changing
know?
colors.
What's really different is what Kenny is mapping.
Look at that,
There
look.
is two of them. Was going from red to white,
On me?
and now there's two of them.
On me?
They're right next to you. One's on
This
your
is weird.
shoulders, the other's
So I
standing.
look
Hey, look, it just came out the room.
Now the one is crawling on the floor that just came out of the room.
Alright, so something just grabbed my arm.
Look at that! Look at the arm go up, Kenny. Look at what that
Yeah.
one's doing. It's like, look, it's mimicking me.
So I'm not filming me, but I'm literally doing this. And it's doing what I'm doing.
Holy crap.
Nuts!
Is something grabbing my arm?
Dude, they're all over you.
Put your arm up again like this. Could you see me? Do what I'm doing. Reach your arm up and wave.
I'm fine.
You didn't
Oh
even
my God,
move.
did you see that?
Yeah.
Whoa! Holy!
Look at that! Look at that!
You could fill in the holies. Pause it. They saw a shadow figure up on the stairwell above. Of course, we didn't pan close enough to catch it. Creeper Gallery. If you don't know where the Creeper Gallery is, it's in New Hope, Pennsylvania. We investigate all of their haunted objects. That's where those objects come from. So if you follow us on social media, on YouTube or Facebook, usually every week, every other week, we investigate 1 or 2 objects, good ones, bad ones. This is the old building. I don't recommend investigating by yourself. Now let me set the stage for you for this one. There was a tenant who had there was a medium next door who had a shop, and she owned the apartment upstairs. She's gone. That part is empty, no tenant upstairs, just the Creeper Gallery above me, the store. I'm in the basement because there's rumors of the basement being haunted. I'm alone, and this is what happens. Hopefully they can hear this clear. I feel the cold behind me. It's my legs up to my elbows. Are you behind me? There's footsteps above me and there's nobody up there. Oh my God. Do you hear that? Somebody's walking around above me. Okay, guys. So that's me on the SLS camera. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look upstairs. I'll be right back in 2 seconds. I'm sorry to keep stopping, but that sounded like somebody was really, really loud and walking, and I want to make sure that nobody's up there. I know the door's locked and everything, but I gotta look anyway. So I'm on a live stream doing this. That's why I'm talking. That up to one of the weirdest things that has happened here, for sure. All right, pause it. So I'm thinking 2 things. I'm thinking maybe I didn't lock the door and somebody broke in which case I'm going to have to confront people that are up there trying to steal whatever, or there's a spirit up there walking around and I'm in a basement by myself. The only way up from the basement, there's no other door except the stairs and the door right there. So I'm thinking every horror movie I've ever seen, they're going to shut that door and I'm going to be stuck in that basement by myself. So that's, again, say what you want, but I was in the building alone. It was late at night and those steps were right above my head. That's a bit unnerving when that happens. We have the same ring. I actually reached for my phone like, I know I put it on silent. So here we are in the new Creeper Gallery building, which is 129 South Main Street. This close to getting kicked out. I have the same exact ring. I literally was like, wait a minute. So anyway, the new Creeper Gallery. Now, what are the odds that the old shop being haunted and the new shop being haunted? The new shop is, the back of the building is very old. The rumor was, a medium said or something, Jay, you would know this better than I would, that there's a guy, Mike, there, who at one time was hanged. He did something and people hanged him, and that was the story. We were going based on a story. We have no documentation for this. So we start out with the story of Mike. You'll see the thing. John Zaffis, if you don't know who John Zaffis is, Ed and Lorraine Warren, you know the Warrens, Conjuring movie, everybody knows the Warrens, Annabelle, all that stuff. John Zaffis is the nephew of Ed and Lorraine. He's been involved in the paranormal since he was 12. Guy's done exorcisms, guy's done more stuff than anyone I know will ever do in their lives as far as the paranormal. He comes to the shop and he immediately picks up on Mike too. So you can play the clip. So there it is. Mike the Spirit is rumored to be inside the Creeper Gallery. It's rumored that he hanged himself or somebody. So John comes in, his initial impression.
And it's bad and it's very creepy and it got killed in here.
It got killed in here. I told you.
Is that what he said?
Yes, that's exactly what he said.
And then
He said he
came
was
up
murdered
here. I told you.
for not doing what he was supposed to
The
do.
guy was hung right in that corner.
So pause that. So this is spirit communication part. John loves this thing called the Echo Box. The Echo Box is an app. This app doesn't have any real words in it. It's phonics, it's sounds. There's 4 different data banks with sounds in it. Theory is spirit can mash the sounds together to create words they want to create. And this is what comes through.
Did you die in the building?
Haunted, did you hear that? Haunted. Are you evil? Would you consider yourself evil?
Who is we?
Mike,
Mike.
Yeah,
did I not tell you the medium told me Mike is standing here looking at you?
that's the Mike,
Mike is the house ghost.
the one that's...
The hang guy. She told me, I said, go tell him, find out his name. She came back, she said his name is...
Mike, where are you standing right now? Are you here?
No.
No.
Mike.
Mike again? Holy sh... So here's a good one. Pause it. So Donna considers herself like a clairvoyant, medium type of person. She drew that sketch of what she believes Mike looks like, and it's in her shop. So Chris and I were asking, how do you feel about that? Do you think that's disrespectful to you? Listen to how clear this EVP is. A voice captured on a recorder.
Donna drew a picture of
And then there was a breath.
right there that you could see. Does that offend you? How do you feel about that picture right there with the man hanging from a noose?
Here comes that cold again. Did you hear that? I'm gonna repeat
How do
it.
you feel about that picture right there?
He hates that picture, and he showed it again and again.
And then there was a breath right there that you could see. Does that offend you? How do you feel about that picture right there with the man hanging from a noose?
Here comes that cold again.
Did you hear what he said? How do you feel about that picture right there?
So here's, we're like 10 minutes to 8. Do we have to end at 8? Okay. Flashlights. Back in the old days of paranormal investigating, people used what was called the mag light. Mag lights twist to turn on and off, and people would twist them to the point where they almost turned on, and they would do these on the paranormal shows too, where you could tap them to turn them on and off. The flashlights we're using in this clip are push button. They're not mag lights. There's no way these things should be turning on and off. So you'll see what happens here. We're talking to Mike. We're doing a method where we can do the S-Day where you can hear spirits. And there's a lot of holy S's here, but I bleeped them. Hold on to that. So the flashlight was on, but now it's off.
All right, Mike. So I have a female, Chris, sitting.
And there's the dome going off. Where you normally grab Donna around the hips and other people. I'm hoping that you'll talk to us. Yeah, I see the light going on. Turns on by itself.
The flashlight just
Went on by itself. Did anybody see that? Did anybody see that flashlight go on? So I want you to talk through her. Look, it's going off. Did anybody see that? Did you guys F it? Look, it's going on again. There's a lot of holy S's that I bleeped out of this. Now, it's literally taking energy and just put it back in. The batteries, we change the batteries every time. That light just went off and on twice. Oh my God.
Mike, you are crazy good. Could you talk to me before we stop tonight? Because we have to go soon. Tell me anything you can about you.
Wise.
Because we want to know what your name is. We want to know who you are. We want to know why you're here. Oh, there it goes again. Are you kidding me?
It's cold, cold, cold.
Are you freaking kidding me?
It's my shaggy voice.
Oh my goodness.
All right, pause it, please. So now we get into the haunted objects. That creepy, whatever it is, window display. I saw it as soon as I came into the shop. I kind of had a vibe about it as soon as we went in there. And of course, it's one of the objects we investigated. This is kind of interaction, communication type of thing. Yes, it is as creepy as it looks. I picture like waking up to that. So there she is.
So we have no information other than this was a display.
For over 40 years in a window.
So this is the music box I showed you.
I'm going to turn this on, and you're going to hear music. This is a music box. You'll hear for yourself in a second. Hear that?
There.
Now, it's...
Oh, she likes that. So she likes music. Guys.
Now, for lack of a better name, I apologize to you, but that boy couldn't make that thing even blink.
Oh, she's got power. Oh my goodness. Wow. That's all I can say.
Keep playing it, please. Go ahead, please. Keep playing it. Make it play and play and play. Come on.
She has to be standing in front of it to make that happen, guys.
Good. Good.
Oh my God.
Good. Very good. So again, an old-fashioned music box, not hard to work.
So again, debunking it, I move it now in another direction to prove that it's just not going off for the sake of going off. Go ahead and play it. So I have it facing that way.
So right now, sitting idle, something needs to trigger the sensor, which activated by motion to make that play music. Right now, it's not sensing any motion in that direction until I take my hand
He
and I
triggers
block
the
the
sensor.
sensor and I move it around. But as soon as I remove my hand and
The
stop
more
the
you-
motion,
Oh, yep.
and now she's ringing the bell because I took it and I moved it away from her.
She reacted to
I'm
that.
going to turn it her way again.
Remember what I told you about those lights with the energy? Watch this.
And that's her. Can you do that again? Yep. She likes it. Wow.
And I'm going to take it away again. I'm going to see if she goes with the bell again to see if she.
Oh!
What did I say?
Oh!
As soon as I take it away again.
Oh!
So now I take this, it was a Ouija board, and I put that dome on top of it that I showed you that lights all the way around, and I'm asking her now to interact with me and light up my face with a light to show me that she's there.
The SLS camera today.
How about again, before I turn the spirit box on, I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to sit down here and try it. There we go. Down here.
There's the voice.
Oh, yes, the light just flickered.
Just flicker
Can
a
you
little
do
bit.
it a little bit more so that we could see?
I need you to use more of my energy and more of the energy or whatever energy you have. I'm
That was a
down
good
here. I'm right
start.
here near you.
That was
Just
a great
one light
start.
is all I need. Thank you.
Wow.
Let my face green.
Guys,
Just
are
like
you
I asked.
seeing this? That is perfect.
All right, now here's a good one. This is the last one, by the way. This is Indian War kepi. There was some of the objects Donna gets, they don't have any kind of backstory. Just somebody owned it. They got a bad feeling from it. They know kind of where it's from, what time period or whatever, but there's no information as far as names, who it belonged to, who wore it or anything. And we go in there to try to figure out, we're trying to get as much information during any session, good or bad, because part of what we do at the Creeper Gallery is we try to see if objects are dangerous. People could buy these things. So we try to show them whether things are dangerous or good or active or not active. No name. My only goal was to find out who wore that and give them their due diligence and have people do the research and the history just to give them an identity. So I use the spirit box to try to do that.
You guys see this? Do I have it up high enough? Indian War, worn in battle. Man attached lived a long life, but suffered PTSD and carried visions of the battle till his death. From a PA estate.
Don't pay attention to that one. All right? Just because my doctor's here doesn't mean you could get attention.
This is to identify you, to give people your name. More than just that. They should know who you are, respect you for the battles that you fought and for what you went through, and hear your story in more detail. Okay? And I'd like to give you that opportunity if you're open to that. Could you please tell me your name? Please, sir, just say your first name. Loud and clear if you can. Bill. Bill. Bill, could you tell me, what was your rank? Did you have a rank? I'm trying to be able to look you up and maybe get your name and attach it to that object. Put more on this card here that just has general information. So far we have a Bill. General. Holy cow, did you hear that? He said, I'm a general. Okay, Bill, I got general. Last name, that's all I need now. Please tell me your last name so we can put it all together. Come on, Bill. All I need is that last name now. I've got most of what I need. Try to say it as clear as you can. General Bill, give it to me. What's the last name? Did you hear that? We got to go back and watch this again and get that name.
So there was a General Bill Davis who was in the Spanish-American War or Indian War. And Donna did all the research and got all the information on him and his life and his family. And again, that was kind of satisfying because it was just, for lack of a better word, it was an unknown soldier. It belonged to a guy. Nobody knew who it belonged to. People were getting activity. Why? Because maybe he didn't like being unknown. It was just a hat in a room that belonged to someone who wore it proudly, lived a whole entire life. Somehow he probably passed, kids, garage sale, who knows where it wound up. But he was forgotten. and he wasn't after that. So that's kind of cool to be able to do something like that. So we're going to turn the lights on. Ooh. And we're going to invite you guys to come up. If you do want to see the haunted objects, you can see them. You can take pictures with them. Any questions while we're doing that? You could ask questions of any of us here. Any questions on anything you saw or anything in the paranormal?
What is the most biggest fear when you're doing this kind of stuff?
Attachments. I mean, I've had them. I don't believe that they could stay with you for a long time, but I've had attachments and it changes you. I was in a bad mood. I had a lot of bad luck. I was acting differently. And I told you I'm not religious. So I go to the church. Actually, Clark, St. John's, all the way down there. I go there and I don't go to church. So someone says, go to mass and get blessed. And I'm like, how do you do that? So I'm sitting there and he's talking about what he's talking about and I'm not understanding any of it. So I waited and they told me to just ask the priest to bless me. He leaves. I'm like, now what do I do? So I go up on the altar. I knock on the door. He opens the door. He's like, how can I help you? I said, lots of bad things have been happening to me. Someone told me I should get blessed. He goes, I'll meet you at the confessional. And I'm like, and that is. So I go back there and he goes, okay, we're going to do the blessing. I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't go to church. I don't do any of that. He said, sit down, say amen when I tell you to. I can do that. I did it. Then he did the oil on my hands and on my forehead. That didn't work. And then I had to go get Reiki, which I don't believe in, by the way, but only after those two things did whatever it was leave me. But that was bad.
Oh, and just recently, we had these in our car for another event.
She's right.
We dropped them off. And on the way back, I got very ill where I was going to pass out while I was driving. We had to stop. He had to take over driving, and we got like 4 miles up the road or so. And a big old iron stake went right through the tire, right into the rim, and we had a flat.
And what did we do? We went back and picked them up again. You got to learn the hard way in this field. You got to learn by doing. Any other questions? Yeah.
Have you ever had to like talk to a ghost you were related to?
I'm sorry.
A ghost you were related to? Like a weird family reunion?
What do you mean?
Like a loved one come through.
Oh.
You want to answer?
Well, strangely enough, on 3 occasions, I lost my daughter 4 years ago. And thank you. And Colleen does these location reader cards. They're like tarot cards, but they're not. And unknown to her, when she started doing what she was doing, I was in the room and my daughter was coming through. And then it dawned on her, she was reading what had happened and we had to shut it down because it's tragic how she died. And I wasn't prepared for that in a setting with other people. Then we did another event and John was with a group somewhere else and I was in another location upstairs and they were talking about a killer and stuff going on. And one of the guests came upstairs and said, hey, I want to follow up in this area with what happened down there. And they said, who did you kill? And it said my daughter's name. So that kind of freaked everybody out. So there's been a few times where that does kind of come in and you have to be prepared for it.
Yeah, I've got 2 better feel good stories. I guess I'm a big believer in signs. I always have been. My mom passed to COVID and when she passed, being a skeptic the way I am, I was praying for my mom. My mom didn't believe in the paranormal, science fiction, none of that stuff. I would constantly in my head, Chip Coffey, anybody know that name? Chip Coffey, well-known medium. I called Chip before I knew my mom was dying and I called him and I said, please tell me that there's a heaven. Please tell me. And he said, John, no matter what I tell you, it's not going to help you through this. You have to go through it. So my mom passed. Nicole is part of this story. They were coming to bring me food. They had an event. I wasn't going to go. I was upset about my mom. Nicole and Mike were going to bring me food because that's what Italian people do. And I'm outside waiting for them. And I'm looking at the North Star and I'm saying, Ma, please, or if you're up there, just please. Then I started getting mad at myself. Like I'm so desperate. I'm looking at a star and I'm like begging for a sign and nothing happened. I got the food. I go inside to put it in the fridge. I went to bed before she got home. When I woke up in the morning, our teammates, Tanya and Kenny, There's a bag. I look at it. There's a plaque that they named the star after my mom. And then there was a ceramic circle thing that had a quote about the stars and the heaven and loved ones. There's no way in the world that was a coincidence. This is what I mean about spirit interaction and communication, and this is what kind of brings us all around. I believe whatever they can do, they will do to try to make connection. Some people say they hear songs on the radio, and again, with my mom, and I lost my sister in February. Whenever I'm having problems and I'm dealing with stuff, and I know it's weird, but I'll literally say, guys, if you're with me and you're looking out for me and you can help me, please show me something that, and I'm not looking for a red car going by me. I'm looking for something. And literally I'll look to my right and there'll be like an angel in the window of a house. Or one time, literally 5 blue jays, boop, 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 in a tree in front of me. So I do believe whatever they can do, they will. Some are capable of throwing the table. Others are capable of coming through the radio or the equipment or speaking, but I do believe that they do try to bridge that gap in any way that they can. And I do believe they're there. I do believe. Now, here's the thing. Are they stuck? People often ask that question. Can they be? I think that maybe they can. I don't know that for sure. In my perfect world, they can go and come back. But in a place like Gettysburg, why are all those spirits there? Did they not know they're dead? Did they do atrocious things and they're afraid to be judged? There's so many, when you get into this field and you do what we do, like the flow chart, every question, answer leads to 5 questions. And you just keep going and because you'll never know. There's no way you're ever going to know so when I go, you're welcome I'll tell everyone where to meet me and ask me all the questions and I'll light everything up for you. I'll do whatever I can.
I'm not going to be there.
I'll try to levitate you.
Just so
I'll try to levitate you, throw things across the room.
And
but
don't you come back and haunt me.
But that's the truth about the paranormal, is that it is a pseudoscience. Nobody knows for sure. Believe me, I've talked to so many mediums and I get frustrated. I'll tell you another quick story. Chip Coffey, about my mom. He's telling me, Chip Coffey got started on Psychic Fred Hotline, of all places. So we're talking about that, and he's talking about his first readings. And I mentioned again my mom about affirmation, about that she's in heaven, and I'd love to get a message from her. And he goes, John, what's your mother's name? And I said, Chip, I know how much you charge for this. No. And I didn't want to cry, because I knew he was going to make me cry. And I'm like, Chip, don't do it. You don't have to. He goes, what's your mother's name? I said, Marie. He said, she's saying something about a shake. Not like a body shake, a shake. Now, my sister, massive tumors, and she passed, and she couldn't swallow on her own. Everything needed to be pureed. My mom took care of my sister until my mom passed. Everything needed to be a shake, 3-4 times a day. I knew that's what she meant, but was I reaching? Then he says to me, she's showing me a blue bubble heart. She won't stop with this bubble heart. That's when the tears started. I was literally 5 years old, 6 years old. We were poor. Whenever there was like a flea market or garage sale, my mother would give me $5 to buy a used toy. It was around Mother's Day. I bought her a purple blue heart. They didn't have the necklace. It was just the heart, and it was in a white jewel box. And I gave it to her. I hadn't seen that since I was about 5 years old. When she passed, I found it. She kept it all those years. It's on top of her urn in my house. Chip would have never known that in a million years. I cried like a baby. But I also felt great because I knew my mom was somewhere and there was something beyond the physical life. So hopefully that's a positive message.
Do you want to tell them what these are?
Yeah, tell them. No. Or Jay. Jay's the expert. Oh, I tried to end it on a positive note, but we have a voodoo doll and a death mask. So this one here actually has human teeth underneath the...
Has what?
So here's the story. Voodoo doll is over 100 years old, purchased from a family in St. Francis, Louisiana, said to hold a dark attachment, made with graveyard dirt and personal items of the person that was cursed. They made this with the intent of hurting someone. There's nothing but bad infused into this thing. This was not made for the tourist trade and should be handled with the utmost care. So that's number one. Anybody want to come up and take a picture? And no?
That's my expression right there.
Excuse me?
I don't want to touch it.
It's above.
Is it above?
Yeah.
Is it up here?
Yeah.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
And there's another one. There's two of them, and the male version has the tooth somewhere else. And this one here, if I get another flat tire, I swear. This one here. Anybody trying on? No? Come on, we got all of our equipment. You didn't come here for nothing. This just says, I don't know how to pronounce this. It's EKOI, Akoi, cow, death helmet. Supposedly an angry attachment, very active, haunted by a missionary. That's only information.
And then there's stuff inside when you pull it out. And that thing gives off a smell.
That you pull out and then you put it on your, I think they use this like as a form of like, looks like the Man in the Iron Mask, doesn't it? Like a bad version of that.
They did. They sealed it on them.
Anybody?
Like welded.
Picture? Come on, get up here. We'll take a picture together. No?
And we actually have the investigation on here if you guys want to watch it.
So, before we wrap things up here, if you do watch any of the paranormal shows or if you're interested in the paranormal at all, we hold a convention in Woodbridge every year. The New Jersey Para-Unity Expo is next Saturday and Sunday in Woodbridge, New Jersey, Woodbridge High School. Ghost Hunters, Ghost Brothers, Project Fear, Kalani Smith, Kindred Spirit, Katrina Weedman, Chris Williams, Chip Coffee, they're all going to be there. You can $25 to get in Saturday, $20 on Sunday. We have free exhibit rooms for Bigfoot, Ouija boards. We have actually a funeral room. We're trying to do everything we can to get kicked out of the high school every year. Next year, we're going to like human sacrifice room. We're going to really try to, we're doing everything we can. They still let us back.
What, Victorian historian? That's going to be new, where you get to do things, experiments from the 1800s of how they did stuff back then to commune with spirits.
It's $25 on Saturday, $20 on Sunday, free exhibit rooms, free lectures. It's a good time. So if you're interested and you're around next weekend, check that out. All the money goes to the Woodbridge Charity Fund. Offered everything we do, we're 501c. Nobody here makes money. We raised literally $30,000 for historic buildings throughout New Jersey during the year, and then all the money from the expo goes to the charity fund. So my time in purgatory, I'm thinking a few years, maybe a few. But thank you all for coming.
Yes.
Happy Halloween. Hope you enjoyed it.
Good job, Seth.
Thank you.